Fiends, it's me, Pete. I'm here to give you another deck review, and this one I'm quite excited about because it's Magore's Fiends. That's right, the first time I've had a really truly offensive warband. I mean, most of my warbands are offensive anyway, but Magore's Fiends really are all about hitting skulls with axes. So, this first match is going to be up against the Orruks, as everybody had voted for. That's going to be a pretty bloody match, I reckon. Both sides are going to be looking to chop the other side to pieces. And it'll be interesting with the inspirations as well, because I get inspired if I get a successful attack off. And if I get a successful attack off, that means the Orruks are going to be inspired as well. So everyone's going to be inspiring left, right and centre. So anyway, let's get on with this. I am obviously going for a offensive deck, and I'm also going for a 24 card deck, and I'll explain why when we get there. So, we'll start with my objectives to try and earn me some glorious glory. And the first card is No Escape. Score immediately if 3 or more fighters make a charge action this phase. I'm going to be charging with everybody nearly all the time. It's an instant score. It's a winner. The next one is 183, which is Show of Strength. Score immediately if my leader takes an enemy fighter out of action. Well, Magore's no slouch. He can do a decent amount of damage, and if he gets inspired, he can do even more. I'm hoping that with some of the ploys that I'll have in my hand, that I'll be able to get him to move into position after someone's been softened up, and then deliver the killing blow for another instant 1 glory. The next one is Advancing Strike, one of the newer cards, which is score immediately if my warband takes an enemy fighter out of action in the enemy's territory. Again, it's instant score, it's 1 glory, I'm going to be killing people, so that should be an easy win for me, and another easy quick glory. The next one is 306, Victory After Victory, another one that came in the new sets. Score this in an end phase if you score 3 or more objective cards in this round. Well, I've got about 4 or 5 instant score cards here, so I'm hoping that that one should be fairly achievable. 235, Alone in the Darkness. Not a lot of people rate this one, but it's scoring an end phase if there are no adjacent fighters on the battlefield. Any adjacent fighters, yours or your opponent's. Now, I do have great concussion in my deck. If I can get this at the same time, that's pretty much a guaranteed 2 glory for me there. Next one is Defensive Strike. Score immediately when my warband takes an enemy fighter standing in my territory out of action. So it's like the opposite of Advancing Strike. I've got to kill him in my zone. Well, the Orruks are going to be coming after me anyway, so it doesn't really make much odds to me. I can kill whoever they are, wherever they are. Bear in mind, I am trying to make a deck here good for every scenario, so against anybody. This card might struggle a bit against Defensive Stormcast or Sepulchral Guard, who might be a bit slow, but I think is going to be a winner against the Orruks. The next one is Escalation. Always a nice card to have. As long as I'm getting some glory, then I'll be able to spend it on upgrades, and I'll get me some 2 more glory there. If I'm doing terribly, then maybe Robin will spend all his glory in 1 turn and I'll still get it. After that, it's Master of War. Always a nice easy one to have. Play a ploy, play an upgrade, get an objective. Next one is Ploy Master. Again, like the other 2, nice and easy to have in your hand. All I've got to do there is play 3 ploys. Winner. Next one is Master Stroke. Score this immediately if an enemy fighter is taken out of action by an attack action made as a reaction by my warband, or a reaction made by my warband that causes damage. So basically, if I have a reaction card that ends up killing one of his guys, it's another score immediately, and it gets me a glory. Now, 2 of my main fighters have a reaction when a failed attack lands, or fails to land rather, means they can attack back immediately. So it gives me a good chance of getting that off there. And also I've got several ploys as well, which will also help me, which I'll come on to soon. The next card is Superior Tactician. Basically scored in the 3rd end phase if I have scored 6 or more of my objectives. Well, I've got 4 instant scores. I've got Victory After Victory, which should also be a fairly good one. So I'm hoping that this one should be a fairly easy one to achieve as long as it comes along near the end. And the last one, Swift Advance. Score in any end phase if all of my fighters are in enemy territory. While I'm going after skulls, I'm charging into my enemy's territory. That's pretty much a given. So those are all of my objectives. Hopefully that'll wind me up some lovely glory, and I'll be able to spend it on a load of upgrades. And these are the upgrades that I will be looking to use. First one is Furious Charge. When the fighter makes a charge action, both hammers and swords are successes. This is for Xarkas only. Normally I don't like cards that only work on charge because it limits their effectiveness, but in this case, being able to roll hammers and swords is very handy and will increase his chances of getting a successful attack off and inspire him. The next one is Rage Fueled Attacks. This fighter's attack actions with a range of 1 or 2 have +1 damage. Again, this is also limited to Zarkus, but if I can already get Furious Charge on him, +1 damage is also a tasty addition. The next one is Trophy Hunter. This is Magore only, and when he takes an enemy fighter out of action, he gains an additional glory. This is the same as the one that Garrick has, and it's handy in any situation. If you're up against Polgard or Skaven who just keep coming out the ground at you, it'll help you farm glory really easily. If you're up against Orruks or Stormcast or Fireslayers where there aren't as many, then every kill counts, and this gets you more glory for that. Next one is Wrathful Blows. This one's for Gartok. All of this fighter's attacks have 1 extra dice. Again, it's handy to help improve his chances of landing a successful attack, not so much for the damage, although that's handy, but also to inspire him and increase his damage output. The next one is Awakened Weapon. The chance to reroll a dice to improve your chances of getting a successful attack off is not to be sniffed at. Again, I'm going for cards here that are going to either increase the number of dice I have or help increase in other ways my chances of landing a successful attack or increasing the damage output. Having said that, the next 3 cards I have a Great Fortitude, Great Speed, and then Great Strength, which is a bit more useful. The Fortitude and Speed because extra wounds is always good, and Speed is also always good because I'm not the fastest guys on the field here, although against Orruks I'm kind of matched. But Speed always handy, and then Great Strength +1 damage on whoever needs it, always useful. The next one on my hand is Helpful Whispers. This one again enables you to use single assists when there's nobody adjacent. This is always going to be handy because it increases your chance to hit by 1/6. Good on anybody. Next one is Incredible Strength. That'll go with Great Strength. Another +1 to damage is really helpful because even if your attack is a reaction attack which only does 1 damage, if you've got both of those, then it goes up to 3 already. I then got Concealed Weapon. If it's a critical hit, then the fighter's attack has +2 damage on range 1 attacks. That's really handy to have, and if you're rolling 3 or 4 dice, your chances of rolling a crit start to get pretty high, and an extra +2 damage is useful against taking out anybody like Gerzag or Fuel once he becomes inspired, or a beefed up Stormcast. And my last card is Soul Trap. I've got this one because I want Magore to stay alive, so that's pretty much why it's there. However, if all of my upgrades have gone on one of my other guys, or maybe Riptooth is doing his thing and ripping everybody to pieces, then maybe it'll go on one of them instead. I like this card because it can go anywhere and it kind of dissuades your opponent from wanting to attack you. So those are my upgrades. Like I say, there's 12 there because I'm going for a 24 card deck, and I'll explain why in a moment. So now we're getting on to the ploys, the cards that I'll be using to hopefully help me win the objectives to gain the glorious glory to buy those upgrades. So the first ploy is Demonic Resilience. The first friendly fighter who suffers any amount of damage in the next activation only suffers 1. Handy, it doesn't matter who you're up against. If you think your opponent is beefing up one of their guys, maybe they're beefing up Oberyn or Gerzag or somebody, Fuel, who's going to be landing a massive hit on one of your guys and can one-shot them, this suddenly reduces that to 1 damage, and it massively does their tactics in. The next one is Fountain of Gore. Lovely little picture there. Play this after an attack action or ploy takes a fighter out of action. All friendly fighters have +1 defense in the next activation. So you can play this either way. You can play this when one of your attacks takes someone out, or when one of their attacks takes someone out. You're probably going to want to use it though when one of your attacks takes somebody out, unless it's a reaction attack that they make. And then this means that in your next turn, all your guys, whoever they are, gets +1 defense. They roll shields anyway. That'll make them pretty tough. I've then got Glory to Khorne. Roll an extra dice for the first attack action made by a friendly fighter in the next activation. Again, extra dice to roll to attack, increase your chances of landing that attack. Always a winner. The next one, and the reason why I have 24 cards in my hand this time around, is To the Victor the Spoils. Play this after a friendly fighter's attack action that takes an enemy fighter with a wound characteristic of 3 or more out of action and draw 3 power cards. Now I think every warband in the game has at least 1 3 wound model. Most have more than 1. Even the Sepulchral Guard have 4 models with 3 wounds or above. The Skaven have 2. Garrick's Reeves have 3, so there's plenty of people knocking around that you can get this off of, and it hasn't got to be how many wounds you take off of them, it's just their wound characteristic. So, 3 wounds, take them out, draw 3 cards. Very handy to cycle through the deck. I've then got Distraction, handy to push somebody nearer me. My speed isn't great, so if I can manoeuvre someone forwards to get them within a hitting range, that'll be handy. Next one is Jewel of Wits, nearly always in my deck. Take 2 cards the minute your opponent plays a ploy. Always a winner. As mentioned earlier, I've also taken Great Concussion. This one will be used hopefully in tandem with Alone in the Darkness, but if not, it will possibly be used to just shove everybody forwards. If I'm up against an objective deck, I'd be using it there to shove everyone off of their objectives, because I think Earthquake has had its day. Great Concussion is just better because you can choose the direction everybody's pushed in, whereas Earthquake just pushes everyone the same way and can be countered to a large extent by another Earthquake. I've then got Healing Potion, always handy. My guys don't come back from the dead in this warband, and I'm not used to that with my Spellguard and Skaven. They're much more easy to bring back. So this time around I need to make sure my guys stay alive. My turn, play this after an attack action or ploy that damages a friendly fighter. I can push them 1 hex and make an attack action with them. A free attack, always a bonus. If someone hits me and they don't kill me, they're going to regret it. Next one's Quick Thinker. Play this after an enemy fighter's move action, make a move action with a friendly fighter who's not already made a move action. Helps move my guys into position earlier if I want to move someone over as an assist, or maybe I shove someone over so that the minute they finish their attack I can hit them back on my turn. It's a useful card. I can also use it to move someone out of the way after they finish their move before an attack during a charge, and that'll just throw a spanner in the works. Ready for action, always a nice card. Play this after you play an upgrade on someone. They can make a move or an attack action. More attacks or more moves, either way, useful for me. And the last card, Sidestep. Nearly always have this in my hand, and extra hex movement can be a winner in some really dire situations. So those are my cards. I've tried to go for more upgrades and cards that will give me more to help attack, hopefully help improve my chances of landing hits and getting my guys inspired. It's going to be a bloody battle against the Orruks, but in general I think this deck would be quite handy to use against anybody, just going buzzsaw through all of their ranks. There are a few cards that I really wanted to take but I couldn't. Maybe I'll try and put them in for the next game. Some of them like Shardgale I wasn't sure on. Maybe Blood Frenzy, Hidden Paths was another one that I kind of like the idea of, but we shall see. I did not take in this one Bane of Champions because I'm going to be trying that next week against the Fast Riders, and I think if you're going to go for Bane of Champions you've got to have a bit more in your deck to boost the dog, but we shall see how we go. My general tactics are going to be charge, and charge a bit more. Hopefully I can use Riptooth to charge in early with Magore, get Riptooth to soften someone up, and then get Magore to take them out. And I'll have 2 of my guys inspired and 1 dead Orruk, and from there it should hopefully be pretty plain sailing for me. As with any offensive deck, I am reliant on the dice, but hopefully I'm stacking things a bit more in my favour here, so that a few odd bad rolls won't cause too much trouble to me. But we'll see. This is my deck. Let me know if there are any must-haves you think that Magore needs, or if there are any cards in my deck that you think are just losers that I should be getting rid of. Until next time,